Welcome to this week's Colorado Capitol Watch News Assessment. You may be wondering why the state capitol is in such a pretzel over the budget. It has to do with TABOR, of course, Amendment 23, which affects education funding, and this oddly named Arveschoug-Bird statute that prohibits the legislature from budgeting more than 6% above a certain floor from one year to the next. Now this year, there's no way the revenues are going to allow a 6% increase over last year. In fact, the budget's going down. So what this means is that for the 09-010 budget, that budget will be based on the 08-09 budget, and 08-09 is down from 07-08. Do you get that? So the other feature of the Arveschoug-Bird amendment or statute is that if revenues exceed the 6%, then those revenues automatically go to fund transportation and other building expense, but those funds may not be used for other general fund purposes such as for higher education. Well, this is the pretzel. So, John Morse, Democrat, is running a bill, 228, Senate Bill 228, to unwind a piece of the pretzel, the Arveschoug-Bird portion. So that would allow the legislature each year to distribute the funds by its own judgment. So it would take away the 6% maximum on general fund purposes with any additional revenues going to transportation, and it would allow the legislature to disperse the monies in whatever way it feels appropriate at that time. Republicans are always, it seems this year anyway, against such types of adjustments. First, they state that transportation is already underfunded. And second, they don't want that kind of flexibility for the legislature, fearing that this will allow Democrats, I suppose, to fulfill what the Republicans consider their tax and spend destiny. This argument now has been going on for 3 days. It started on Friday, it went on Monday, and we're thinking it may wrap up on Tuesday with the bill passing through the Senate. Well, it'll be entertaining, of course, to see what happens in the House. This bill barely squeaked through the Senate, 4-3 on a partisan vote, and we can expect the same sort of voting, I would think, in the House. If the bill does pass and is signed by the governor, this would allow the state to reset its budget at the revenue of each year rather than based on the previous year's floor. And what setting the budget on the previous year's floor does is it continues to put the state budget into a hole that gets deeper and deeper, it seems, every year, especially during recession times. Now, there is a bit of good news that has been under the radar. And this is what's very interesting, because I'm not sure if everybody in the legislature knows that this money is available yet, but Laura Lard Tobacco Company and R.J. Reynolds have just plunked $7.4 million into the state coffers. And this money is coming from some arbitration dollars that the tobacco companies finally figured they're going to have to pay. So there may be some other money also from some other tobacco companies. And of course, any dollars like this would be most welcome. And now the Joint Budget Committee is trying to figure out how can they retain those dollars so that they can use them with some discretion, either in this year's budget or in the 09-10 budget. So that's what's going on with the budget in the Colorado Capitol.